Squid Game, the final season, the end of the deadliest game. The story of Squid Game began with ordinary people, desperate for money, trapped in a world where society had turned its back on them. In its final season, that world returns darker, sharper, and more personal than ever before. This is the full story of the final season of Squid Game, how it ends, what it reveals, and how every season led to this one. 1. The beginning of the end. The final season opens in silence. A rainy street, neon lights reflecting on wet concrete. A man in a dark coat walks through the crowd. It is Seong Gi-hun, the sole survivor of the first deadly tournament. He has changed. His eyes are no longer afraid, they are determined. He holds in his hand a familiar card, the square, triangle, and circle, the symbol of the game that destroyed his life. The call he received at the airport at the end of the first season has led him here. He has not come to play again, he has come to end it. 2. A new invitation. The next scene takes place inside a luxury building, where masked recruiters gather new players. We see desperate faces once again, men and women signing their lives away for a promise of wealth. But among them hides Gi-hun, using a fake identity to enter the system. He watches silently as the familiar black van doors close behind them, and gas fills the air. When he wakes, the setting is the same yet different, a new dormitory, cleaner but colder. Rows of green bunks, the smell of metal, numbers on uniforms. A voice from the loudspeaker announces, "Welcome to the new Squid Game." 3. The first game, the Tower of Colors. The first game begins in a massive circular arena. The floor is painted like a spiral, leading up to a tall tower that shines with colored tiles. The rule is simple: step only on the correct color sequence to climb. Each wrong color collapses under the player's feet. Panic spreads as players begin to fall. Gi-hun moves carefully, watching patterns, memorizing the rhythm. By the time the horn sounds, half of the players are gone. The survivors return to the dormitory, exhausted, trembling, and more aware than ever of what they have signed up for. 4. The second game, the Marble of Memories. The next morning, players wake to find marbles on their beds. A voice instructs them to find a partner. Whispers fill the air, the older players choose the younger, friends choose friends, but the twist is cruel. The partner you choose will become your opponent. The setting shifts to a narrow courtyard, surrounded by walls painted like a childhood playground. Each pair is given 10 marbles. The rule: win them all from your opponent. But the methods are left to the players. We see one woman lying to her husband, promising to lose, but betraying him in the final seconds. Another player breaks down, refusing to play, and is shot by the guards. Gi-hun wins his game by outsmarting his opponent, but looks sick as he collects the final marble. The guilt stays with him long after the round ends. 5. The third game, the Bridge of Shadows. As night falls, the remaining contestants face their next challenge. They are led to an open valley, where a bridge stretches across thick fog. Each plank is narrow, swaying in the wind. Some are safe, others are rigged with hidden explosives. Players hesitate, testing each step. Explosions light up the fog, bodies fall into the darkness below. Gi-hun leads a small group across by counting seconds between detonations. When he finally reaches the other side, only a handful remain, all covered in dust, fear, and disbelief. In this scene, the show's tone shifts from survival to resistance. The players start realizing there is no winning, only surviving another day. 6. The front man's conflict. Away from the games, another story unfolds. The front man, leader of the guards, removes his mask in private. His face is tired, haunted, human. Flashbacks reveal that he too was once a player, forced to kill his own brother to survive. He had joined the organization believing it would give him power, but now it has taken his soul. In one quiet scene, he watches footage of the first season's games, the deaths, the betrayals, and whispers. We are all just players. His loyalty begins to crack. 7. The fourth game, the silent field. The next game begins in an open field, surrounded by high walls. There are no clear rules. Players must simply remain still until the alarm stops. But hidden sensors detect movement, and those who twitch are eliminated instantly. A fly lands on Gi-hun's face. Sweat rolls down his cheek, but he doesn't flinch. Others panic. Gunshots echo through the silence. When the alarm ends, only 10 players remain. Each survivor has seen something worse than death, the emptiness of those who broke. 8. The front man's rebellion. The front man secretly contacts one of the surviving guards, ordering him to turn off internal surveillance for 10 minutes. In that window, Gi-hun finds a hidden passage leading to the control room. There, he discovers the walls of monitors, showing not only the current games but recordings from previous years, thousands of players who came before. He realizes the truth. Squid Game has been running for decades, across countries, changing faces but keeping the same structure. It is not a single event, it is a system. 9. The fifth game, the circle trial. The next morning, the players are taken to a circular room filled with chairs and spotlights. A voice tells them, to win you must vote. Each player must decide whether to continue or end the game. But the catch is cruel. If the vote to end the game passes, all remaining players die immediately. Fear spreads. Some vote yes, believing in hope. Others vote no, fearing death. Gi-hun stands last. He looks around the circle and says, we are already dead if we keep playing. He votes yes. The screen goes black, but the vote fails by 1. The game continues. 10. The sixth game, the mirror room. In the next scene, the players find themselves in a hall of mirrors. Each reflection distorts their faces, multiplying them endlessly. They are told, find the real you. Only one door among the hundreds of reflections leads to freedom. The rest lead to traps. The scene plays like a psychological test. Players break mirror, scream at their reflection, lose their sense of self. Gi-hun walks calmly, remembering each clue left from previous rounds. He finds the correct door, but behind it stands the front man. 11. The revelation. In the control room, the front man reveals that he has been planning to end the game from within. He tells Gi-hun the truth. The game was created not for entertainment but as a social experiment, a way to prove that humanity always chooses greed over mercy. Gi-hun refuses to accept it. He argues that people can change, that compassion still matters. The front man replies, then show me. He hands Gi-hun the master control key and a choice: shut down the system permanently or become its new leader. Gi-hun destroys the servers. The entire building begins to collapse. The guards panic. Alarms echo through the corridors. As fire spreads, Gi-hun helps the last few players escape through a maintenance tunnel. 12. The final confrontation. Outside the collapsing arena, helicopters circle overhead. The front man stays behind, watching everything burn. He removes his mask, revealing a tear rolling down his face before disappearing into the flames. Gi-hun stands in the rain, blood on his hands, exhausted but free. The nightmare is over, or so it seems. 13. The aftermath. Months later, the world learns about the existence of the game through leaked footage. Media outlets report mass arrests and investigations. But no one knows where the organization began or who funded it. Gi-hun lives quietly, visiting the families of fallen players, delivering their winnings, trying to bring peace where he can. In the final scene, A child finds a card lying on a park bench. The same symbols, the same message. He looks at it curiously as the camera pulls back. The screen fades to black. The game may be gone, but its shadow remains. 14. The meaning behind the final season. The final season is not about who wins or loses. It is about what humanity becomes when forced to choose between survival and compassion. Every scene reflects that message. The Tower of Colors showing strategy and fear, the Marbles game revealing betrayal and guilt, the Bridge of Shadows testing teamwork, and the Mirror Room forcing players to face themselves. Gi-hun's story completes a full circle, from a broken man desperate to live, to a fighter willing to die for others. The front man's arc mirrors his, from power to regret, from control to sacrifice. Together they symbolize two sides of humanity, corruption and redemption. 15. The legacy of the game. Squid Game's ending leaves viewers with questions, not answers. Was the game truly destroyed? Or has it simply changed hands? Its legacy extends beyond the arena. It exposes a truth that exists in every society, that inequality breeds desperation, and desperation breeds cruelty. Yet within that darkness, there remains a spark of humanity. The players who chose mercy over money, the guards who turned against their masters, and Gi-hun who sacrificed everything for others. They prove that even in the worst conditions, empathy can survive. That is the real ending of Squid Game, not a victory, but a reminder that the fight for humanity never ends.